No secret, it's the meat. Don't skimp on the meat. I got a real good eye for prime meat. Runs in the family.
Carnivore wanna start a war. Sandwich celebrity got the dirty draws. Married to the game with no prenup or clause. Making every ass thing, nigga, no terms or charge. We got the meat. We got the meat. We got the meat. Hey, we making every ass thing. Got the meat. We got the meat.
So welcome back, everybody, to this week's episode of The Meat. And you know what that means. And we are all about making every ass think.
Make it tink,
tink, man. Tink,
make it
tink,
tink about
tink like the singing rapper Tink.
That's my girl. Don't do her like that.
I know, but I'm just saying, but think about it. Okay, poor little Tink Tink. Yeah, that's it. I am your host, Kevin Kaoz.
What's up? I'm co-host Dry. Let's get it poppin'.
Yeah, yo, we got some things to talk about this week.
Let's go into it right away. They can give you a heavy.
Okay, so here at The Meat, we like to design everything around, say, a meal. Okay, we want to talk about the meat. We want to get to the meat and potatoes and things. So we're going to start off with an appetizer. So for our appetizer today.
This Nashville shooting.
Nashville.
Can I digest it?
I'm trying to digest it still.
Dude,
I'm trying to boop it out.
let's talk about this whole, what we were talking about earlier when you were saying the whole, how the agenda is working out. They always talk about a gay agenda, but I feel like the true agenda is the attack on LGBT.
So listen here.
The whole alphabet mafia is under attack.
Right. And there's this whole politicization. I hate saying that word.
Again.
There's this whole politicization.
There you go.
Okay, of like religion and people's right to serve or not serve, or to respect or not respect somebody's identity. And the right wing has really been on this kick lately, and which they, in so many different states, especially in the South, they are trying to create policy and create laws that are directly offensive and dangerous for people in the alphabet mafia. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And more specifically towards our trans brothers and sisters and people. So we were talking a little bit about the whole shooting that just happened at the school in Nashville, Tennessee. It's a religious school on top of that.
Yes.
It's come out that, well, it's been revealed by the media that the person that is the shooter, the person that was the shooter, identifies as trans, as a trans individual. And not only, did they give us that little bit of information, but in that process, they definitely made sure they misgendered that person repeatedly whenever they talked about them. You know what I mean? And also, it's just really interesting to me how this is kind of falling in line and at a time in which so many other things that are related to gender or identity or anything like that have come under attack in our country. There's all these policies being made where people are basically trying to make it against the law to be, transgender or to seek gender affirming care. Just like, a lot of the GOP or the right wing, they're trying to do stuff like police women's bodies, you know what I'm saying, as far as like the abortion issue. And then there's this other thing because of religion and all under the whole umbrella of religion. They're using that as an excuse to like continue to push hate-filled policy. Like, the whole thing about, banning drag queens, you know what I'm saying, or drag performances.
Especially like the drag, that's a grooming of the children.
Yeah, claiming that it's a grooming of kids, even though, there's nothing sexualizing, children or encouraging them to do that. And you ever stop to think that if a person has a child there at a drag show, their parent must already either be there and they approve and they're okay with that. You know what I'm saying? So that now you're dipping into people's rights to be parents or, to do what they feel is best for their children. That's a conversation that they're going to have with them. It's not up to the state or to the government to dictate if that should happen or not. You know what I'm saying? And they're in no more danger than they would be going into, like, say, a Catholic church or any other type of, environment in which there is an adult figure that's dealing with children. You can talk about coaching with sports. You can talk about after school programming, even teachers, they're not saying anything about those. Let's use this for example, like the female teachers who are having like sex with their, 17 underage students and doing stuff like getting pregnant. They're not making no policies about that. They're not really trying to address the concern, because the concern really isn't the children. At the end of the day, their concern is their feeling that they have the right to dictate what should go on in your life. And I'm kind of getting off the topic.
No, you're almost there. But my question is, the Covenant School, which is is it Catholic school?
Yes, it's like Catholic school.
It's Covenant school. What I want to get into is they will go to any lengths to kill children to get these sensationalized things across.
Right. One of my theories is that, and this may not be true. I can't say that it hasn't been confirmed or nothing, but this is just my individual thought. It wouldn't surprise me if this wasn't a setup. If this wasn't something that was orchestrated, paid for by the GOP in order to align folks' beliefs, or align their, disdain or their hate for, those communities, so they can take it to the polls. Because keep in mind, now we're only about a year out from the next election, and usually, and usually what I have noticed in the last few election cycles, that the year or maybe even the halfway mark, midterm, between each, president getting elected, there's always this uptick of police shootings with black men, uptick of school shootings. You know what I'm saying? So now, people are rallying behind, gun control and all that kind of stuff like that. That becomes the hot button issue. And then there's all this stuff around religion even, do I have the right to serve people if I don't believe in what they're doing? And blah, 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 blah. So it just wouldn't surprise me if this wasn't like some underhanded ploy by, the Republicans to try to get this going, or to sway people's opinions so that they can continue to make hateful policy and victimize and profile, people that are in the alphabet mafia, or our brothers, sisters, and people. Yeah. So anyway, we could go on and on about that. Just wanted to touch on that real quick. So stay tuned. We got to take a quick little break, and we'll be back with the main course. All right.
That will turn.
And she raps in some of her songs, but I think that she's an artist. They are an artist, because I don't know if she identifies as she, or she. It doesn't matter if she's fluid or whatever. But the thing is, mainstream notoriety, as long as it fits a certain narrative that the wider population, or like the mainstream audience that they have about us as queer people or people in the alphabet mafia, as long as it fits what their vision of us is, then it's okay. And it's something that they are okay with partying to and promoting.
These parts.
What'd you say?
These parts, like,
yeah. Well, and the part, let's be specific. I'm not going to be specific. It's okay in hip hop if you want to come in and be an effeminate, rapper. So Saucy Santana, you got plenty of other artists that are more males on the, more feminine side of things or whatever. And I'm not to say that, look, this is no shade towards feminine artists at all. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are my best friends. Some of them I've collaborated with. It's all good. But it really seems funny to me how the people that end up being exalted in popular culture to represent us or our community in these circles are always those people who fit the narrative, at least by action and mannerism, the narrative that they have about us.
What you're asking is fair. It's no different than asking for, like, with female rap, like, hey, can we get more of like an MC a Rhapsody type of thing?
Or right. Well, see, because that was the thing. Let's even talk about that. Like with the female, with the women rap artists. Back in the 80s, it was customary kind of to see female rappers as more butch or more masculine. You understand what I'm saying? The whole pretty stand in my femininity part didn't come until the 90s when, the Kims and all that kind of stuff, came. And so like now even, you know what I mean? You have like, say, a young MA who is, you know what I'm saying, a part of the community, you know what I'm saying? They made no whatever about it when they came in, blah, blah, blah. That it fits a narrative though for, you know what I'm saying, the straight culture. Because guess what? They expect the lesbian to look like that. They expect, you know what I'm saying, a lesbian rapper even to present in that way. And she was the first one that really got that mainstream.
Right. Or they're going to go with it because that's what sells. So
that's what sells.
They're telling other people that are trying to come up, this is what sells.
Well, and plus two is also the hypocrisy of it all. You know how men love to, explore the idea of two women kissing, but they don't explore that to do queer shit. Oh, that's just so bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. and again, they're okay with the people that are stereotypical or, you know what I'm saying, what they expect, what they want, because that's not a threat to them. You know what I'm saying? Saucy Santana ain't a threat to your average hip hop artist. Now you get a hip hop artist that's masculine or that kind of matches the same energy as these dudes
and getting them bars
and got bars that match, then they look at you differently. That's a threat, and they don't want to promote that, you know what I'm saying, because they're afraid that that's going to make them look weak, or even that we're going to take their bitches. So yeah, that's and to me, I feel like that's another part of the reason, of course, with trauma and losing people, grief, going through grief and stuff, that coupled with the fact that this is a reality within, you know what I'm saying, the music industry, is one of the reasons why I haven't been as active as an artist the last few years.
And tell the people about how you've been an artist.
Oh, well, I mean, I've been a gay rapper an openly gay rapper since 2010, but I was rapping and doing spoken word and shit way before then, you know what I'm saying, ever since like, the 90s. And you know what I mean? But even still, even with that, I was more comfortable with being openly who I am as a spoken word artist before hip hop. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't feel like that would be welcome because
you could fit in the spoken word umbrella.
Yeah, because because it's a little more, it's bohemian, it's, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of everything. It's hippie like even, you know what I'm saying, and more accepted.
It's more artist thespian.
Right. Well, and on top of that, just like with any other genre of entertainment, you get into it and then you realize, oh damn, half of these motherfuckers are queer too. You know what I'm saying? On the low or whatever, because that's one thing that became obvious to me. But anyway, that's another discussion. But still, I feel that in some instances with certain things, I might not have received as much attention, as much backing, as much promotion, or, you know what I mean, energy from the people, because I don't fit this, stereotypical vision of what they feel one of us should be if we're going to be trying to dip over into this thing that's dominated by them or dominated by the people that aren't necessarily open or comfortable with their own sexualities. Anyway, it's a bigger conversation,
much bigger.
And I do invite anyone out there who has any feedback about that, or if you want to share your experiences, write me a letter. Send that letter to themeatpod@gmail.com. I want to hear your feedback. I know it's just kind of scratching the surface, but here we go. We are going to take a break real quick. Got to pay these bills, and I will be right back.
All right, here we go. So we're ready for these little DMTs, the dessert portion of the meal, y'all.
DMs goes down in the DMs.
It goes down your dessert DMs. Okay, so what we're talking about today is a little bit of sexual negotiation from our friend over at Rico over in Tampa. All right, Rico says, "Dear Chaos, I'm seeing a guy for a while now, and I told him I feel more comfortable going further until he gives full disclosure of his status. Can you help me or care to share? Much respect, Young Ninja Rico."
So Rico,
damn Rico,
damn Rico,
get that disclosure.
So brother. Rico, like I probably would ask you a few more thorough questions. Like, okay, are you saying that this person wants to have, like, how long have y'all been dating? Is it that they haven't gotten tested at all before, or is it they're just afraid to get tested?
Yeah, because Rico, we used to be more specific with the status, like with status as far as what,
right, and what angle you're coming from. But I'll just say this in a general sense. When it comes to sexual negotiation, know that, for one, nothing goes down without consent. So you have to be the one to consent for someone to do anything to you or towards you or whatever. But even with that, it takes two to tango, always. So the key is knowing that, okay, for instance, if you know your status and you're comfortable with sharing that with him, great. This isn't a state in which HIV is criminalized per se. However, if you, it would behoove you to know where your partner stands, period. And if you can't have those type of conversations with your partner, then you may consider, is this even something worth, investing in anyway? If I were you, I would probably, extend the invitation for them or for you both to go to an STD clinic or, wherever you get your sexual health test or anything like that from. So say some people it's the Red Door, some people might be Clinic 555 in St. Paul. But, I would invite them to come to the doctor with you. You both get tested and screened. So at that point, you'll both be on the same page at least with...
brother. Whip out that my chart.
Well, yeah. Okay, so look. So the my chart shit. Yeah, that works for some people. You know what I'm saying? And for some people, it's a more convenient way of letting somebody know. But what if this person never has gotten tested? Because that could be it too.
Very true.
And if this person hasn't gotten tested, I would probably ask them questions, or it would be some concerns that I would have would just be, well, why haven't you? Or is there something that's stopping you? Or is there something you're worried about? Because a lot of times, a lot of us will fail to get tested because we may feel some type of either shame or feel that we might have been, playing a little loosely out there. So, we're afraid of what the results might be. And, I'm just here to say that's, you're better off knowing, you know what I mean? Either way. And I've heard other people say stuff too before, like, they'd rather not know, they'd rather just fall dead one day and, whatever. It's not that simple. You know what I mean? And it doesn't always go down like that. And plus too, technology and science has gotten us to a point in which there are so many different drugs and prescriptions, medicines that are available for people to help them live long, healthy, and meaningful lives. This is no longer a death sentence. HIV is no longer this, monster that is lurking in the closet that people always want to deny, even though the denial thing is still happening, especially within our community.
Elephant in the room for sure.
But we all need to take ownership of this epidemic, because that's the thing. We're like almost 40 years into this. And the people that are still getting the brunt of the negative effects of, HIV and other STDs are people of color, Black folks specifically, Native Americans, Latinos. We're many times more likely to come across these things or have to be faced with these challenges. And on top of that, with our distrust of the medical system, because that could be a part of it too. Either way, have the conversations with your partner. Don't feel that you should be forced into doing anything against your will or anything that you think might put you at risk. If he doesn't want to get tested, then you need to make a decision if that's a hard line of yours or not. You know what I'm saying? You definitely wouldn't be wrong for not wanting to take things further. But know that if you do choose to take things further, or you choose to sleep with them in whatever way, unprotected or protected or whatever, that you still have to accept and own half of that responsibility, just like they need to own their part. Now, again, conversation. It all starts with conversation. Communication. And you got to always know and keep this in your mind that you have the right to refuse. You have a right to say no. You should not feel pressured into doing it. It should be something that happens willingly and with consent from you both. And that would just be my advice. It's just extend the invitation for you both to go get screened at the same time. Not to say that you got to sit in on their session or they got to sit in on yours, but at least know that it's happening. It's happened. So they got that information and you should have that information too. And you should be doing this with a person that you trust enough. You know what I'm saying? And that has demonstrated that they're trustworthy.
Let's bring that back. I like that.
Bring
that kind of attitude back. I mean, it's hard to do, but like it's easier said than done. But let's start bringing those things back.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I like that
because a lot of people, we tend to forget about those really important small things, like being able to trust the person that you're with, and the importance of not feeling that you can't talk to them about something. Because if you feel that you have to either keep anything, hide, or be ashamed of having those conversations, then maybe you should reconsider if this person is the right person for you. Because love isn't about shame. Love isn't about secrets. True love is about, openness, transparency, and a willingness to meet the partner halfway, or, meet in the middle somewhere. And so that's a part of it. We can talk a little more about this in the future, but let me know if that helps at all. And if you want to write us back, let us know how it's going. That would be great. We'd love to hear from you, and we'd love to hear from the rest of our audience as well.
Salute you, Rico.
Yeah, Rico, peace. And the rest of the audience, if you got any situations or any advice that you need, give me a writing and send your emails to themeatpod. That's themeatpod at gmail.com, and we will read them on the show and answer it for you. And everything's all good. Oh shit, everybody got ice cream. So and with that said, I think it's gonna be a wrap. This is a wrap for this week's episode of The Meat. I'm your host, Kevin Kaoz. Got my guest Ja here with me, my co-host / Ace Boom. And we'll see you next time with another meaty episode. Peace. Oh, and buy my albums.
No secret, it's the meat. Don't skimp on the meat. I got a real good eye for prime meat. Runs in the family.
Carnivore wanna start a war. Sandwich celebrity got the dirty draws. Married to the game with no prenup or clause. Making every ass thing, nigga, no charge on charge. We got the meat. We got the meat. We got the meat. Hey, we making every ass thing. Got the meat. We got the meat. We